Alright guys, so today we're going to check out the brand new Google Pixel Buds. Now these are a huge improvement over the previous version. In fact, I don't even want to talk like the previous version even existed because I'm a huge fan of Google's hardware. I use the Google Pixel Book and I also use the Pixel 4 XL as my daily phone. So I was really excited to get my hands on these, but I was really curious to if they're worth the $179 price tag. Now, when it comes to what's inside the earbuds, they are using a custom 12mm dynamic driver, which is doing a very impressive job, especially fitting them into an earbud that's this tiny. On top of that, they're using Bluetooth 5.0 and they have AAC and SBC playback. Now, I really would have liked to have seen aptX playback, but the one thing that's impressive about these is the Bluetooth range. If you're outside, it says that you can get to the length of a football field, and then if you're inside, you can have a 3-room separation, and a lot of earbuds can't do that. As soon as you leave the room, one wall in between will block the signal, as to where getting 3 rooms is really impressive. And another thing that was also impressive is I didn't experience any kind of lag with watching movies, videos, and games. Now that will depend on the device that you're using, because some people that are using an Apple device may experience some lag, especially when it comes to using the YouTube app. Now, as far as the IP rating, they do only come in rated at IPX4. I would have liked to have seen them rated a little bit higher, especially to just kind of feel a little bit more protected when you're spending that kind of money. But I think they went with the IPX4 rating, so they're able to keep the mics being able to pick up as well as they do. Now, as far as what you're getting inside the box, you are getting the usual small, medium, and large silicone ear tips. But one thing that I want to point out is the Pixel Buds also have the wingtip as well, but it's actually built in on the earbud and you don't have the ability to switch this out. Now, I do think that this is a huge problem because everybody's ears are not the same size, and I would have liked to have seen some different options here, but I'll explain why that is a little bit later. Now, as far as the charging cable, it does come with a USB-C cable. Speaking of the charging cable, the battery life is just okay. On the earbuds themselves, you're going to get around 5 hours, where with the charging case, you're going to get around 24. But if you do happen to pick up the earbuds and they are dead, a quick 10-minute charge will get you 2 hours of use. So I really like that these have the fast charge feature, and I also like that the case is a Qi wireless charging case. So you can just come in, drop it on any wireless charger, and they will start charging. Now, speaking of the charging case, this is going to be the one thing that grabs a lot of people's attention. It has that similar Apple look to them, but it is very sleek and it kind of looks like a pebble or a stone. And it even kind of feels like that because of its matte finish. Now, on the bottom of the case, you can see the USB-C input for charging. And then on the back, you have your little pairing button to be able to just put it in pairing mode if you're going to switch from one device to the other. Now, around on the front of the case, it has an indicator light to let you know how much battery life is left on the case, where when you open up the lid, it also has an indicator light on the inside to let you know how much battery life is left on the earbuds. And speaking of opening the lid, these also have the quick connect feature, basically like Apple's AirPods do within Apple's ecosystem. So as soon as I popped open the lid, I saw it pop up on the screen to pair these. And then every time that I've opened up the lid ever since, it shows me the battery life of the case and also both earbuds. And I really enjoy this feature. Now, moving over to looking at the earbuds, again, the first thing I want to point out is these are tiny. I do like that they have the little wingtip on here, but again, I would like to have seen a larger option available, and that's mainly because of the way these fit in my ear. They are very comfortable. In fact, I'm able to wear them for long periods of time, but not having that larger ear fin is not pushing the earbuds in as far as I'd like them to go. And what problem that causes is if you're going to listen to these in public, or if you're going to listen to these in bed next to your husband or wife or whoever, they are going to hear everything that you're listening to. My wife immediately heard everything I was listening to, and it was even at lower volumes. And that's simply because these earbuds, no matter what ear tip you try, is not giving a really good seal because they're not going far into your ear canal. And then that little wingtip is not helping because it's sitting so far back here, so the earbud at times can feel a little loose. Now, I didn't have any issues with these falling out, but if you're running or jogging, or if you're playing basketball or doing whatever, just notice that there is a slight wiggle while they're in your ear. They're not gonna fall out, but they do move around a little bit because they don't fit that far into my ear canal. Now, as far as the controls, these do utilize touch controls, and I'm happy to say they control everything. You have your play, pause, skipping your tracks forward, going backwards, and even for volume control, you can slide your finger forward on the earbuds to turn the volume up, and then you slide it backwards to turn it down. Now, other controls that these have, you're able to just press and hold the earbud to be able to ask Google, basically like Google's assistant, to tell you the weather or ask it questions or do anything like that. And you don't even have to push the button. You can just say, and then ask it whatever you need it to. And I really like this feature. Another huge plus about these is Google also has the translation. So if you're speaking to somebody that doesn't speak your language, you can have it where Google in real time will translate what they're saying into your language, into the earbuds, so that you can understand them. And I really like this feature. And also within Google's app, you can also control some other things. It has adaptive sound, which basically means that Google will kind of try to balance your sound depending on whatever the situation is around you. So if I'm in a quiet room, it'll be at a certain level, or if I decide to go outside where there's a lot more noise, Google will kind of try to balance that out. But another thing they do have is it does have the Find My Buds feature, which basically means if you want Google to try to pinpoint where's the last place you use your buds to be able to find them, it's nice to have that feature built in. And another nice feature is it has the sensors on the earbuds where it will auto pause and auto play if you take your earbuds out and then when you put them back in. Now, I really like this feature, especially considering these don't have an awareness mode to be able to pull in your surroundings. So it's nice to be able to just pull the earbud out and have it auto pause where you can carry on a conversation. Now, for you guys that like to use your earbuds individually, you'll be happy to know that you can use either the left or the right. And then the microphones on here are excellent, but they kind of have to be because the Pixel Buds are so reliant on the Smart Assistant and having those type of features that the mic needs to be able to pick you up at all times, no matter what your surroundings. So the mics are doing an excellent job of focusing in on your voice and blocking out your surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. Alright, so here is a mic test using the Google Pixel Buds. Again, I think it picks up my voice very well, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played in the background, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. And really before we get right into the sound, let's talk about the volume because I've heard some reviewers say that it gets loud. I've heard some that say it doesn't. I want to say that they do get loud, they just don't get as loud as a lot of the other earbuds that I've tried. So if you are somebody that likes to listen to your earbuds at like very high volumes, this is not going to be the pair to do that. Now, I don't think that it's going to leave a lot of people wanting more volume. It just doesn't get as loud as I like it to all the time. But as far as the sound goes, the sound, in my opinion, is excellent, but not completely perfect. If you are somebody that likes a lot of bass or likes to be able to feel a lot of bass, that's one thing that I think these kind of fall somewhat flat on. Now, I'm not saying it's flat as in it doesn't have bass, but I have heard some earbuds that have bass that you can feel in here. Now, these are not capable of that. These have a more true to what the sound is supposed to be. It's a lot more accurate bass. It's a lot more tighter than a lot of the other bass. But I think a lot of the reason of that is, again, it falls back on the seal that you're not able to get with the ear tips and with the wing tips. That plays a huge part on being able to feel bass impact. So not being able to get that is definitely affecting the bass. But the mids and the highs are absolutely excellent. They're very clear, they're very detailed. They're definitely up front without the treble sounding harsh. Vocalists always sound like they're right there in front of you, but the instrument separation and the instrument detail here is also done very well. It's very easy to tell where everything's coming from. It's very easy to tell that there's some distance. These do have somewhat a feel of being open. They don't feel as closed in like a lot of earbuds do. And again, I think that kind of falls back on the fitting of the ear tips. So now let's talk about some of the cons. First thing I want to point out is I think these should have a higher IP rating. That way, again, when you're spending $179, you just feel a little bit more comfortable using them out and about. And then on top of that, I would have liked to have seen at least some EQ controls within Google's app. And then I also would like to see a little bit more volume. So overall, I think it's an excellent package for the price. I think you're getting excellent sound with a little bit lack of bass and volume, but you're getting incredible features that a lot of other earbuds don't offer. So it kind of comes down to what it is you're looking for. If you're simply just looking for a pair of truly wireless earbuds for sound, there are much better options in this price range. But if you are looking for an excellent sounding pair of earbuds with some incredible features, there's not a lot of earbuds out there that offer what these have. But guys, that's my review on the brand new Google Pixel Buds. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.